Hi, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Molt Money. Here we talk about stocks, financial news, and cryptocurrency. So if you like talking about money and want to know how to make it in these markets, please go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell below, and let's get started. Stellar XLM Lumens holders. Do I have a lot of good information for you today? First, I want to talk a little bit about the price, where we're at, where we're going, and really where I project seeing us at the end of 2021 and going into 2022. I also want to talk about a couple very, very bullish articles that came out recently and has me even more in the belief that this is going to skyrocket more than ever. I have not lost any faith in XLM Stellar Lumens. And in fact, I am doubling and tripling down on my positions in faith, not even in faith, but in belief that this is going to the absolute moon. So, I'm sorry I was unable to post yesterday. I did do a half marathon yesterday, feeling a little sore, had to take a day off, but I've got a jam-packed, short but concise video for you today in regards to Stellar. So first, let's get into the price action. Now, the entire market did very well today. Very nice to see, as I do believe we are starting to warm up. We're starting to heat, and I talk about this pressure cooker that's about to explode, and the best is yet to come, trust me. But when we look at Stellar XLM Lumens in particular, we can see at the current moment, we are at 2.5% up at the current moment. So we are getting a nice upward trend going. Now, we did come down just a bit after we had that initial pop. So we're down on the week just 0.28%. But look at this. We are up 36% on the month. So I know some of you are saying, man, when is this really going to take off? We're only sitting at 38 cents. Where are you going to get returns of 36% on a month in the stock market? Yes, it happens. Of course it happens. But in cryptocurrency, this is typical. Now, how often does it happen in the stock market that you're up 359.79% in a year on a certain stock? It just doesn't happen often. Yes, it happens. Of course it happens. But this is the average. And so when people look at this price for Stellar Lumens, they say, oh, they're only 359%, a little over that on the year. That's not that much. Do you hear how absurd that sounds? 359%? The average investor that gets 8 to 10% in a mutual fund in a year in the stock market is considered a good investor and beating the market. Here we're up 359%, and I've talked about that cup and handle, how we're about to curl up and really take off in this coin, and you just don't get much better than this. So 38 cents, yeah, but if you would have bought at that 26 cents I called out a few weeks ago, you would be sitting very, very pretty. So where are we at right now? We're at 38 cents, still a buying opportunity in my personal belief. I still stand by, and I will continue to say this, the $1 to $1.20 target by the end of 2021. You say you're only a month and a half away until the years, or excuse me, 2.5 months away until the end of the year. Yes, I understand that. But when these move, they push rapidly, extremely fast. And I have every reason to believe that's going to happen with Stellar. Now, getting into the news. Today, we announced that the Flutterwave, a global payments technology company, has launched 2 new remittances corridors between Europe and Africa on the Stellar network with Tempo. This was absolutely huge news. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. If we get into the article, I want to point a couple things out here. It says, it is more expensive to send money to sub-Saharan Africa than to any other region in the world. So Africa is largely underdeveloped, but with that is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, or is the fastest growing continent really in the world. And Stellar Development Foundation is largely penetrated into this country or into this continent with several companies. We know that Akon is there trying to build up a city, and he's going to be using XLM Stellar Lumens. We know that we recently partnered with MoneyGram, one of the biggest financial movement companies in the world. And now this Flutter Wave, wow, this is just enormous. Let me point out how big this is. If we come down here to, where is it? Right here. So Flutter Wave is a global payments technology company that helps businesses all over the world expand their operations in Africa and other emerging markets through a platform that enables cross-border transactions via one API. So Flutter Wave has processed over 140 million transactions worth over 9 billion to date, and serves more than 290,000 businesses, including customers such as Uber, Flywire, Booking.com, and Facebook. I think most of you have probably heard of those companies. I know I certainly have. So they have an infrastructure reach of over 33 African countries, including Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, and South Africa. So they're in all the biggest countries within Africa and the fastest growing continent in the world. They've penetrated. They're now with several companies and just making absolute moves, big moves in the space. Now, last thing I want to point out, how Stellar's 40 million investment in Talia will give millions access to financial services. So, Stellar Development Foundation has made a fresh bet on financial service sector. According to the press release, the institution participated in a 145 million Series E for Talia. Okay, a global technology company working on providing millions of people with access to lend, borrow, and other financial services, with a reach of over 350 million funding with support of the SDF, Stellar Development Foundation, and its enterprise fund, Upstart, and others. I'll give you an idea on how big this is. The new investment will accelerate our path to becoming the primary financial account for the global unbanked and helping millions more people making progress in their financial lives. So this is what we really dominate. We know we're fast, affordable, and secure under the blockchain. We know the Stellar really dominates that. Now they are working with these types of partnerships that enable them to give millions of people all over the world in underdeveloped areas the access to being able to transfer their money in the speed of light, almost, fractions. Only a few seconds is what generally these transactions take, but at a fraction of a cost of what is typically used now. So we're enabling the financial system to move at the rate of an email. Think about that. With the biggest players in the game. That's all I got for you today. Enjoy the rest of yours, and I will see you in the next video.